We live, y'all. We live. Come on in. Come on in. This is a PM Car Chronicles. Come on in. Listen, Linda. Listen. I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to go live again. I know y'all. I already went live and talked to y'all this morning, driving into the office. But listen, y'all gonna help me get home. We live, y'all. We live. Come on in. Let's talk about it. Newsom said, listen here, sir. Listen here. You messing with my money. We already in a hole already in California. Listen here. Come on in. Hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Come on in. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. It's going down. It is going down. Come on in, y'all. Hit the like button. Come on in. Newsom said, listen, Sheik, I need for you to tell the people. Tell the people I didn't had enough. I didn't had enough. Y'all, this line is probably so long of people that want to just straight, you know, everybody going, moving on wing and a prayer. Come on in. People, a lot of people are not here for what President Trump is doing, what some might call shenanigans, including Governor Newsom. He said he's sick and tired of this. He said Trump messing with his money. He said, you messing with our money. You messing with our money, but that's all right. I'm taking you to court. Come on in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like, share, and subscribe. It's going down on the West Coast. It is going down. It's going down. Come on in, y'all. Listen, have y'all seen? Have y'all heard? Come on in. Let these notifications go out. Newsom said, listen, I'm tired of your ish, Trump. I'm tired. I'm tired. You came to my state and embarrassed me when it came to these fires. You came in thinking you running stuff when it came to these fires because we didn't have no water. There wasn't no water in the pipes. I told you I was getting to it. The fires just took place before I was able to get to it. The fires took place before I was able to get to it, Trump. I told you I was going to get to it. We was going to put some water in them pipes. But you still got to get on the flight and come on down here. Y'all, come on in. Hit the like button. Come on in. Hit the like button. Newsom announces a California lawsuit against the Trump tariffs. He said, listen here, player. Let me tell y'all what Newsom said. I'm finna translate. This is what he mean. Y'all know when somebody just didn't had it here? I'm finna translate his message. Because it ain't really reading like that probably in the court documents, but that's all right because that's what I'm here for. I translate. I'm going to translate for each and every one of you to understand what this man said. Listen up, Buttercup. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. Newsom said, listen, you know that we already struggling in California. You know, we just didn't have no water in the pipes. So don't act like you don't know that we ain't struggling over here on the West Coast. We just got water in the pipes. We done had teachers lose their jobs. So now we got a lot of people on the soup line. We got homelessness. That's just, you know what homelessness is looking like in California. So by you interrupting and talking about these tariffs and these countries that need to pay more tariffs, whatever, you messing with our bottom line. You messing with our bottom line. Newsom said that that President Trump does not have the authority to enact international tariffs without congressional approval. Now, Trump gonna say the hell you say, but that's what Newsom said. He was like, "Play it. You out of pocket." Newsom just told Trump, "You out of pocket. You out of pocket. We going to court." I learned that there have been 15 lawsuits now filed from the state of California since Trump has been in office this time around. 15. And y'all know this man, I ain't ever seen another administration who spends as much time in the courts as much as this administration here. Y'all let me know if y'all seen it. I ain't never seen it before. I have never seen an administration that constantly goes to court. California alone got 15 lawsuits. Y'all know other people have sued that man. So if that's just 15 for one state, how many other states we got? So Trump and his team, they're spending a lot of time fighting legal battles. So Newsom's like, listen, we finna add one more. We gonna add one more because you're doing too much. These tariffs is impacting our state and the progression of our state, and we stand to lose billions as a result of these new tariff policies that you're implementing. Newsom said last year alone, California had nearly 675 billion in two-way trades. That is a lot of money. So what he's saying is that to basically keep California going, like they need trades. And y'all peep this. Their three largest trade partners are Mexico, Canada, and China. So he like, listen, you messing with my bag. You messing with my bag, and we can't have that. Y'all hit the like button, double tap. Newsom is saying you're messing with my bag, and I'm taking you to court because I'm tired of your ish. I'm tired. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. Newsom said probably feel like he can't even comb his hair right. Y'all know how you just so shaken to where you can't even listen. Newsom hair probably all messed up right now because y'all know it's normally perfect. I bet you. I bet you he got hairs all out of place. He got hairs all out of place because he can't even think straight. He like, I listen, you interfering with my money to buy my gel, to buy my hair products. Y'all know that man care about his looks. Y'all know that man care about his looks. He care more about his looks than that goddamn state. Remember, they recently didn't have no water in the pipes in the tube for the people to put the fires out. Newsom them took that money and put it on his beauty products. Newsom like, ain't nobody got listen. That money got reallocated to the to his hair products. So Trump trying to say, okay, well, you're gonna have to go find somebody elsewhere because where it's not gonna come from is these doggone tariffs unless these states are going to be willing to pay the increased amounts that I have now set. So I don't know what you're gonna do, player. I don't know what to tell you, but you're gonna have to work it out. You're gonna have to work it out. You're gonna have to work them out. So Newsom is pleading with Congress to do their jobs to get President Trump in order. To get President Trump in order. So therefore, it can be business as usual. Y'all can let me know in these comments if y'all listen, y'all team Newsom or team Trump, because listen, they about to duke it out in court. They are about to duke it out in court. If anyone in here lives in the state of California, that happens to be where I am from. I am from California. And California is a very large state. It's a very large state. It's so big. It's almost like it really could be like probably like 3 in 1. That's how large. You know, California is a very large state. So Newsom like, listen, it's a big state. It takes a lot of money, funding, and things like that to keep it going. And tariffs, these deals that we do with these countries, that's what helps keep California going. So by you increasing these tariffs, resulting in maybe some of these countries not wanting to do business with us. Listen, you messing with my bag. You interrupting my bottom line. And y'all know that's the sure way to get somebody attention. When you mess with their bag, you interrupt their bottom line. That's when you get their attention. They like, you gonna smell my cologne. That's that you gonna smell my cologne type energy because you messing with my bag. So the lawsuit has been filed. It has been filed. And Newsom is just ready. He's like, listen, game on. Game on. Another day in court. Russell said, we need lawsuits against Newsom. I ain't going to argue that because I think he's the worst governor ever. They said out of the 15 lawsuits, this is the first one that I guess he was behind. The other 14, They didn't have his name on it. It was someone else in the state of California, I guess, who filed it. But this one right here, because it's sent around some money. I told y'all they dip it into his hair product stash. Y'all know that man care about having his hair right. I ain't never seen that man a hair out of place on that man's head. But that state will be there'd be homeless people everywhere. No water in sight for fires, but he gonna have all his needs met. That's that stuff I'm talking about. That is that stuff I'm talking about. So Newsom, I think that yes, this all has his attention because Newsom is about that dollar. I honestly don't look at him as a governor that really cares about the state of California like that. I think it's just all about the money for him. And with these deals that he makes with these other countries and things like that, y'all think his pockets ain't getting lined from those deals? Yes, that is why he like, oh, that's why we got to go to court because it's interrupting his money now. It don't have nothing to do with all the local people or nothing. He done got that calculator out and started calculating now what his dollar's gonna look like without China in the mix, import, doing imports and exports and all of that. He was like, no, 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 no. We cannot do this. We got to do something else. This right here ain't gonna work. Congress, I'm gonna need for y'all to rise and stand up because this right here, this ain't gonna work. And you all, I truly feel like it's just rooted in just his own personal gains, not really that of like the state like that. Because this man ain't done nothing that showed that he cares about the people in California. Not ever. Not ever. So I was surprised when I saw that. I'm like, what? Not you trying to act like you give a dang. Not you trying to act like you care. Not you trying to act like you care. But listen, he tried it. I'm sure Trump laughing at the White House like, I know he lying. The way he done doggone ran California into the ground. I know Trump is like laughing like, sir, I'm going to need for you to have several seats. I'm going to need for you to have several seats. I'm going to need for you to have several seats because you have not done anything since you've been off leading that, been the governor to show that California is a priority for you. So what are you saying? Like, let's really talk about it. Like, what are you really saying? Listen, folks are in their feelings about how Trump is running this country. A lot of people are not here for how he's running this country. Hey, Yvonne McGowan, you're in under, I don't know, you may be on the other phone. Hold on, let me add as a managing moderator. Okay, I just updated you back as the moderator status in here underneath that name, under Yvonne McGowan. Tracy, you say Brits for Trump. Anybody in here for Newsom? Because when I say I don't ever hear anybody say anything positive about that man. Never. I never hear anybody say anything positive about Newsom. Because the people know that Newsom he's just there just lining his pockets. He's there lining his pockets and became that much apparent when the people's houses caught fire and burnt to the ground, and then it wasn't no water to put the fires out with, and they using buckets. Like, you know how y'all, like if you might have a house fire or something at home and you might put some water in a bucket and go put it. This is what the firefighters were doing, y'all. There was no water for them to use, like from pipes. California of all places. It's just a known thing that California is known for fires. How do you justify shortchanging and not budgeting for you to have adequate resources in the event there is a fire? That's that issue I'm talking about. This is crazy. This is just basic stuff that you don't even need to be a politician to understand. what needs to take place when it comes to California. The top of your agenda should be making sure you got adequate resources in the event that a fire takes place. Like it's California. This is where I'm from. California is known for earthquakes and fires. Those are the two things that the state of California is known for. I know that. I haven't lived there since 96. So you're the governor and you don't understand the importance of making sure that you have the proper tools and resources and things in the event a fire pops off. Like that's that stuff I'm talking about. That this is when your energy, when you're not focused on the right things. This is what it looks like when people are a part of something for their own personal gains, because it's not even about the betterment of the state. Because California right now, it's been a long time since, to me, California has been that state where people have said, yo, like, I'm moving to California. I want to go live in California. Like, homelessness is out of control. Traffic in Los Angeles is just crazy. Pollution is like, why I need to move back to California? Why I need to move back to California? Gas is about like $7 a gallon the last time I visited. Like, there's nothing that California is giving that has people collectively saying, yo, I'm picking up, I'm going to California. It's the reverse. People are trying to move and leave California. A lot of people are moving to like Las Vegas, that's next door. They'll go to Arizona, but heavy in Las Vegas. I know a lot of people who in the last 3 years who have relocated to Las Vegas because it's cheaper to live. And actually, I just found out Las Vegas is one of those no income tax states. So if you still want to live in a state where you get your, the sun on a regular, like, Las Vegas would be like a great place to go because it's like right there. So it makes sense. But California, that government, like the politicians there, they really need to get it together while they talking about trying to sue somebody. Because if you talking about y'all state made it was 675 million, I'm sorry, billions with a B, 675 billions with a B last year in two-way trade. Why California homelessness is still what it is? You should have kept that to yourself, because right now you talking about the money that's coming into the state, but now it has people focusing on like all the areas of the things about the state that needs to be improved. So we now know it ain't got nothing to do with money, because your lawsuit says that you have an issue with Trump because the tariffs is going to interrupt the monies that's coming into your state. Well, sir, I need for you to step up to the congregation and explain why your homelessness is out of control if y'all making deals of 675 billion in 1 year. Please explain it. Explain yourself. I'm having a hard time to understand, where's the money going outside of your hair products. Eco Styler gel is what, about $3.75. Even if you got the big one, okay, I'm gonna give you $8. I'm gonna give you $8 allocated for the Eco Styler. The Eco Styler will last you a good minute. You can get that stronghold, because it looks like whatever he used, it's that stronghold. A comb gonna be what, $2, sir? I'm gonna allocate you a cool $50 a month for your hair products. I'm just gonna give you $50. What the heck is the other 675 billion? Like, where the rest of the money at? After you done got your $50 out, where is the rest of the money, sir? I need to understand where these dollars at. Where them dollars at? Where them dollars at? Like, sir, is this really what you want? All right then. If this is what you want, because Trump and his team gonna be like, I got time today. They gonna read him so well. They gonna be like, sir, y'all, you just admitted that y'all got all that money coming in, but y'all can't afford to keep the water on. Y'all had $675 billion in deals last year, but last year is when y'all had water on. Why the water bill wasn't paid? Why was the water bill not paid, sir? Because y'all know when there ain't no water in the pipes, that means the water, listen, your water got turned off. Y'all know when you go to turn the thing and it ain't, you get, y'all know when the water get turned off, you got one more time to flush your toilet because now it's the water that's in the back of the bowl. That's the last of the water you got. So after you flush that toilet that last time, it ain't no water replenishing. That's it. That is it. Newsom, your water was turned off last year, but you talking about the billions of dollars that was made last year also. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This is why a lot of people don't really trust politicians, because it be stuff like this where we'll learn about the monies that are coming in, but then we'll look to our right and left and see all the things that still need to be done. How do you have this type of money coming in, but your home, the people sleeping on the streets, you got tent cities everywhere, you don't have money to, you haven't created shelters or buildings for the people who are homeless to at least go into? Like, what's really going on? What's really going on? And so since he want to take, Trump to court or whatever, and he want to throw out monies and things from deals that he's made, sir, you're gonna have to show your receipts, and then you're gonna be having to probably answer some questions as to, okay, well, if this type of money was coming in, why isn't this, that, and the third done? Because that's what happens. And sometimes we have to be careful of, like, when we want to raise something to be an issue at a certain level, because it results in people taking a closer look at your situation. So because the Newsom wanted to sue Trump and take him to court and say, hey, you messing with our bottom line, now people are going to look at that bottom line more closely to see, where is this money coming from? And then where is it getting allocated? Where are you putting it? What is it going towards? Where is the money going towards? So what, he gonna be like, well, okay, don't worry about that part. Don't worry about that part. Just focus on the part that this is the type of money that we make. We don't need to talk about where the money goes, how the money is spent. We don't even need to talk about that part. We don't need to talk about that part. But yes, we do need to talk about that part. And that's the part that is not talked about often enough. The most we've ever talked about that part is since Doge been into effect, where from the audits, discussions started being had on where money is spent. But historically, that has not happened. Nobody wants to talk about where the money is spent. It's always been centered around you not paying enough. You getting that bill, that notice in the mail, that phone call talking about, listen, you need to put something on, when you gonna put something on this tax bill, this outstanding tax bill you got. It's been constantly about, the focus has been on how the government can get more money to making it seem like we're in need. We need this, we need that. We got to up your taxes. Oh yeah, we're assessing your house to be worth more this year, 8-10% more this year than last year. So the focus has always been on, okay, the government identifying how more money is needed versus them speaking on how the money that they getting is being spent. Let's talk about that. I done already gave y'all X amount of dollars. Can y'all tell me what y'all did with them other dollars that I done gave y'all? Don't come to me asking me for nothing else. You need to talk to me about what you done with them other dollars that I done gave you. Don't ask me for nothing else. I need for you to give me an invoice of how my money was spent. How about that? They don't do that. But they will certainly give you an invoice to tell you or try to show you how you underpaid and owe more money. Y'all, it's tax. April 15th was just yesterday. How many of y'all in here was in the red and you owing taxes again? How many of y'all so used to doggone owing taxes to where you like, oh, well, just add it to the rest, because you're just so used to the government always wanting more and saying we ain't got it, this, and that. But though when another country is in distress, Ukraine, then suddenly we got it. Where the hell we get it from then? How we suddenly got $5 trillion or whatever, but though you sweating me about you saying that the few dollars that you say that I owe you, but you can give out trillions. I'm paying into the system as a citizen, but you're still saying that's not enough. But the people who don't even pay into our systems can get it all. Make that ish make sense. It be that stuff I be talking about. Be that stuff I be talking. Make it make sense. The government stay having their hands out when it comes to the American people. But the previous administration was just so quick to give out the money. So it's like, well, okay, you tell us at home, because US is home, you tell us at home, baby, we ain't got it. We don't have the extra money to do that, this and that. So you like, okay. But then somebody from outside come and say, hey, US, and they got their hand out saying we need this, that, and the US are like, okay, here you go. What do you mean? What do you mean? Why they didn't get the whole excuse on, well, we ain't got it, we can't do it. But us, we get the oh, I ain't got it. We get the Tasha K, I ain't got it. But we never tell another country I ain't got it. How that work, y'all? I be trying to make sense of this ish. I do. I literally be coming on this YouTube, be trying, because I be needing y'all to help me, because I be trying to understand and make sense of this stuff. Do we have it or do we not? Because you can't be selective about when you have it, because that's what it's giving. You're selective about when we got it. I heard it was on Jasmine Crockett, representative of Texas. Jasmine Crockett was on record saying it was around the time, maybe a month and a half ago, Trump was talking about giving some checks out as a result of all the excess money that they were finding in from cutting things. It was going to possibly, there would be money to give to each of the American citizens, the taxpayers. Jasmine Crockett had the audacity to say, in response to that, America, the US, we not in the business of just giving out money. Since when? That's all the hell we done damn done. Oh, so now we ain't in the business of giving out money when it's time for the people at home, us, to collect. Oh, now y'all want to be on y'all Tasha K, we ain't got it. That's that issue I'm talking about. Ukraine can have the world, but me, oh, Sheik, I ain't got it. Listen, we got these highways to pay for. We got these trees to cut down. California, they water off, so we got to get their bill caught up. Sheik, I ain't got it. That's that stuff I be talking about, but that's the messaging that we get. I ain't got it. The homeless person on the street, I know it's cold outside, but listen, we ain't got it. We ain't got it to get you off the street. Like, we ain't got it like that to be able to build a shelter to get you off the street, or to create some programs or some resources that can help you get your mental health in order and get you off the street, and or help you get a job, or so you can pay rents, be able to afford to live somewhere. We ain't got it. But soon as Ukraine or whoever, somebody else come along, listen, Biden, this is who is that they going against? What's that? Iran, they fight. Listen, they tripping. Ukraine like, listen, Biden, I'm gonna need to hold something. Biden like, well, what you need to hold? I don't know. I mean, maybe like 5 trillion. Like, I think. What, you want me to cash app it to you or Zelle it to you? Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? They on some cash app, Zelle type stuff when it come to the other countries. But when it come to us in America, it's the Tasha K, I ain't got it. And they only saying it once. It's that issue I be talking about, y'all. Listen, y'all, I be trying to understand. I come out here on this YouTube and I let y'all know where my thoughts are, because I be relying on y'all to help me understand, because I be baffled by this stuff. I be so baffled because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So here it is, this man, the governor of California, who ain't done nothing beneficial for that state since he been in there, talking about with Trump. I I'm gonna sue you on the behalf of California because you messing with our money, and we be making billions of dollars here. And these, if you interrupt these tariffs or implement these higher tariffs, it's gonna make people not want to do business with us, and like that's not gonna work. Well, why isn't it going to work, Newsom? I mean, because I got mouths to feed, I got bills to pay. See, I always say the quickest way, the easiest way to get somebody's attention is mess with their dollar, mess with their money. What Trump has done, he's messed with this man's money, so it has his attention. I told y'all 15 lawsuits on record for suits against the Trump administration. So there were already 14 lawsuits on record coming out of California against the Trump administration. Newsom didn't choose to file one until this tariff thing, when it was going to impact him personally. He didn't file nothing to me because Trump been in there since January. You people been kicking and screaming, saying whatever. Newsom hadn't, gone on record to say nothing or whatever. Listen, but soon as Trump started messing with the tariffs and it was going to impact the monies that he had coming into that state, now all of a sudden it got his attention, and he kicking and screaming and yelling for Congress to do their job. It's because it's impacting him. He didn't have no pep in his step when them people's house was burning down. It was no pep in his step then, because that didn't impact him. It didn't impact him. So he didn't really care like that. But these tariffs, they impact him, because who knows what percentage of that 675 billion that he says California makes between tariffs, tariffs on with Mexico, Canada, and China. Who knows what percentage of that he gets? Y'all do the math. Think about it. How many millions, because remember it's billions being paid, how many millions is he making from that? So he like, oh no, we got to go talk to somebody, because Trump, you doing too much now. You doing too much. So it's like now he's feeling the pain like we feel when we get notices or whatever from the government talking about taking away our resources, or saying, hey, now you got to pay these taxes because you didn't pay enough. How many of you ever think that throughout the year you're not paying enough taxes? And then when it comes time to file, you're told you didn't pay enough. Like, this is the type of conversations that us working class people have with people. Newsom don't know nothing about that. But that's when our money is getting played with, and why we get emotional about things, because our money is being played with. But he couldn't relate to that. But now that Trump is playing around with these tariffs, his money is being played with. He can relate to that. He like, oh, working class, this what y'all feel like when somebody playing with your money? Oh, I feel your pain. Oh, we can't have that. Y'all been going through this? For real? Yes, Newsom, the story of our life. Oh my. Well, no, I can't be on the soup line. I can't be on Section 8 EBT. I'm gonna have to take him to court, because I can't live under these conditions. I can't live under these conditions. But this is where we're at with it. This is where we're at. He's like, like, no, I'm gonna have to go. We gonna have to talk to somebody. We gonna have to have do a mediation. We gonna have to do a mediation or something, because this right here, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And I know why it's not working. Because it's messing with his money, and he knows he can't be governor forever in California. So while he's being the governor, like, he knows he got a plan for that day when he's no longer governor. How is he gonna eat? Where's his money coming from? He got a plan for that, He ain't that old. I don't know how old he is. But he knows that, okay, I got a plan for my future, for my family. And that's where, with these deals. So he's like, Trump, you messing with my retirement plan. What's up, Zeloff? Thank you so much. You all double tap the screen, hit the like button. This is just food for thought, y'all. This is all common sense. People ask, why'd you vote for Trump? Because he ran on common sense. He ran on common sense. I always say stuff on this channel, it's not that deep. It be real like basic, but people make stuff deeper than really what it needs to be. That man ran on common sense. Common sense centered around, listen, we can't leave the borders wide open. Who I shouldn't have to sit and have a conversation with somebody as to why that don't work. Like, I shouldn't have to sit and have a conversation with, I just shouldn't. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is real basic, and he ran on common sense, and I was here for it. I was here for it. I don't know what Governor Newsom, what he ran on, because I didn't vote for him. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if the Californian people were to vote today, this year, they wouldn't vote him back in. Yeah. I would say they would vote for just anybody else, regardless of the party. I would say that the California people would probably vote a Republican in before they would vote him back in, because that's how much he's failed the state of California. Arguably, he's got to be like one of the worst governors in the U.S. Like, I don't know nobody else who effing things up worse than he is. Like, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all know somebody else who effing they state up more than Governor Newsom, because I don't know. I ain't seen him yet. Y'all drop their names so I look into him. But what he's doing, it ain't it. It's not the move. It's not the move. It's time for a new sheriff to roll in town. What did he replace Arnold Schwarzenegger? Because wasn't Arnold in California running something? Was he the governor or the mayor? What was Arnold? And could y'all understand him when he was in office? Any of y'all who live in California? I'm just saying, because I can never really understand what he be saying on TV. But for y'all who live in California, were you able to understand y'all then leader, Arnold Schwarzenegger? As long as you were able to understand him. Because I didn't know what the F he was saying. Just like I didn't know what Biden was saying the other night. Y'all, somebody tell me what Biden said when he got on that stage. Y'all, I promise you, I tried to get through it too. Because I'm like, oh, hell, Biden then woke up. Biden up late and stuff. I'm like, okay, but let me hear what he got. Y'all, when that man started talking and mumbling, and I listened to about 17 minutes, and I still didn't know what he was saying, I was just like, see, this that ish I'm talking about. This that ish I'm talking about. You can't believe that Biden was winning in comparison to with Trump and how what was that man saying? Can somebody tell me what he said? Because I tried and I was just I was like when I seen that I didn't even have much more left to get through of his speech and I still didn't know what he was saying. That's when I was like, you know what? I don't understand why the world didn't realize when they seen that man falling off a bicycle, going up the steps to get on the plane, why they did not realize that just he wasn't the one. For some reason, people were still thinking that he was just doing his thing in the White House. I don't know why it took for him to have to do that debate against Trump that night leading up to the presidential, that presidential debate. And he got up there mumbling. I don't understand why that was a moment for people to finally realize that, yeah, it was time for him to just go put his PJs on and kick his heels up. I don't understand, because there were plenty of signs before that night he got up there to do that debate that indicated that, yeah, his time had passed. What took me out, y'all, during that debate is when Biden got up there was saying something. Biden was like a mumble. Y'all know you got the mumble rappers that have you can't understand what they saying. The mumble rappers these days. Biden was up there talking. He said something, and then when it got time for Trump to say his turn in the debate, Trump starts out by saying, "Well, I don't know what he just said, but," and then he went on to say his. I said, the way that man said, "I don't know what he just said." But that was the moment for many of y'all to come to the realization that he wasn't the one. That's that part that I'm talking about where people just be in denial. People choose to be in denial and not read the room, to not accept the reality of a situation when something is no longer working. Crazy, yo. It's just crazy. Y'all double tap the video. It is going down in the US of A. I need to see what Caroline did a press conference. I think she was supposed to have a special guest or something there. I think this weekend. I wonder if the special guest. I thought she said last week that the leader of Italy, I think, was coming to the U.S. this week to the White House to visit. Y'all knew Bukele came. I think he was there on Monday or something. He's the president of, or I think it was Monday he was there. But so today, Caroline was going to do a press conference. Right before I went live, I seen the reporters, they were all waiting for her to kind of come in. So I just decided to just go live and to talk about this lawsuit that Newsom filed for the state of California. And when I saw that that was like a headline news, but I got to get into and see what Caroline talking about. Because I tell y'all, even if y'all don't support these people, rock with these people, y'all need to still be tapped in and hear what they're saying, to listen to what they're saying, so you would just know how to move, know what type of time they on, so you could be prepared as much as you can for the foolishness. So regardless, red, blue, whatever, tap in and hear what these people talking about. Listen to what they talking about. So I think, yeah, the headline said a special guest. So I'm curious to know who that is. She might be talking now. She might be up there talking now. How many of y'all like Caroline? I only remember her name, y'all, from the Outcast song, Caroline. Otherwise, I never would remember that woman's name. I would never remember her name. But now, when I associate it with Outcast, the rap group, popular rap group in the USA, Outcast, that's how I remember her name. So it's going down. It's a lot going on in our country. China giving, the U.S. that work, spreading all the business, spreading business to where y'all know somebody tell your business is that information that it's one of those no take backs. It's no take backs. So the way China is putting it out there, it's no take backs. He done already told the business. So I don't see that day when Trump and China, or the US and China, are now, on the good foot again after after China, the way China kind of came out on over the weekend. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So Newsom, you might have lost your plug. You might have lost your plug. And that's probably what prompted Newsom to file that lawsuit, when he seen how China, what they pulled out of their arsenal over the weekend by telling the tea, telling the business. Newsom was probably smart enough to know, oh, yeah, this a done data. Yeah, they not coming back from this. That was probably when he realized that, our relationship with China is just done. It's just done. And he was like, listen, I got to get this paperwork together and file this lawsuit, because it's no China. What China has done, there's no coming back from that. The relationship is just ruined. If not forever, for a very, very long time, at least while Trump is leading the USA. I do not see China and the USA playing well together as long as President Trump is in office. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So over these next 4 years, China got to make it do what it do without the use of the USA, and the USA got to make it do what it do without the use of China, because like it's done. It's a done data with that. Trump say all these other countries, with like 75 plus countries, are ringing his line trying to negotiate deals to keep from having to pay these tariffs and things like that. So we're going to have to make up for, okay, not having China, as our ally, as the country who we get a lot of our goods from. Like, I don't know, when it comes to that, like if somebody, another country, can really step in and make up for that. Like, who can step in and be the plug in place of China? India? Like, who can be the plug in place of China? That's the question. Because we might as well, y'all better get China out y'all. I don't know who gonna be sending the beauty supply. How y'all finna get y'all wigs, y'all weaves, the eyelashes, the press-on nails, whatever that may have been coming over from China. I don't know. I don't know if Ireland, New Zealand, y'all, do they do lace fronts? Do they do wigs and nails and lashes? I don't know. But it's not, I know where it's not gonna be coming from. It ain't coming from China. It's not coming from China. I don't know if your lace front's gonna be coming from Afghanistan, um, Cuba, Mexico. I don't know. But what I do know is where they're not coming from. What I do know is where they're not coming from. They're not coming from China. They're not coming from there. So y'all better figure it out. Some of y'all need to probably just start working on your natural hair anyway to get that taken care of, because China is no longer the plug for the USA. You will have to literally go over there yourself to get whatever it is that you want. And China, the leader has said, the people there have said, listen, you can come over here and just shop directly through us, or if you can navigate through the websites we have out there with ordering products, you can do that too. But otherwise, that's kind of going to be your only way really with getting the goods from China. And we receive more goods from them than they receive from us. These are the times. Rizza said Trump about business. Yeah, he definitely about business. He is definitely about business. Yes. I knew Trump was about business when he ran our country the first time. I knew then that man was about business. So we are here. This is where we're at. We got to navigate through these times. We got to figure it out. Newsom gonna have to learn to live without them billions that he was making um, from China. Like, he got to figure it out. He got to figure it out like the rest of us. When we told, listen, you owe X amount of more dollars on your taxes, don't they tell us, listen, you need to figure it out. You better get on this payment plan or whatever. Newsom, listen, you better figure it out. You better figure it out. You better scale it back. You better maybe cut your hair, get a haircut so you don't have to use up all the Eco Styler gel so fast. I don't know what to tell you, sir. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, but times are different. I really feel like in today's time, it's like we've had like this reset. Roscoe, you said a lot of stuff you looked at is made from China. Like, so much is made from China. It's just like we just never realized it like that, because it's just not normal practice for people to just, most people, I feel, to stop and take a look at and see where things that they purchase are made. I think now probably people are starting to do it, but I heard like that Walmart, 80% of the items on their shelf come from China. Yeah, like we got a lot. It's a lot that we have that comes from China, but it's not a lot of things that they have that come from us. You see, That's the difference. Um, but Canada says they're our biggest customer. Yeah, they say they're our biggest customer. But top three, what you're going to be Canada, Mexico, China. Those are three big dogs. So we just got to do what we got to do, right? Trump is here for at least 4 years. No need in crying over it. That's not gonna make a difference. People constantly taking them to the courts and trying to sue them and all of that. Listen, Trump not even trying to hear what the doggone the what you call them the highest court, the Senate. Is that the Senate? The Supreme Court. I'm sorry. Trump not even trying to hear what the judge of the Supreme Court trying to say when it comes to getting that man Kilmar Garcia brought back from El Salvador. Trump had to, I think it was yesterday. It was either yesterday or Monday. He had a follow up appointment with the judges, with the judge, a female judge, because the directive she had told him and his team, his administration, was, listen, I need daily reports on how you all are facilitating the return of this man. Y'all think Trump and his team been abiding by these things, these rules, these orders set by this judge? No. The judge got upset and was like, you think fat meat ain't greasy, Trump. Like, y'all not listening. Y'all's playing. Listen, y'all playing games. Like, the judge think that the Trump administration is playing games. Because this is how they just not even like, it's just one going in one ear and out the other. It's just literally going in one ear out the other. They're not, the Trump administration is putting in zero effort with having this man return back to the U.S. because they was like, listen, I done told you once, I done told you twice. I really didn't told y'all about 10 times. Because Caroline at the last press conference said, basically, I'm sick of y'all asking about this man who I done told y'all is an MS-13 gang member. Why we still got to keep talking about this? Like, she had an attitude. Y'all know when a woman get she like, when the neck gets to rolling. Caroline had an attitude. She was like, listen, I'm sick of y'all. Like, I'm just baffled by why y'all want to continue to focus on this man who is a criminal, who is a part of a gang, according to documents from 2019 when he got detained by ICE. Because of suspicion of him being a part of a gang, and an informant, an anonymous like informant, telling the police and ICE or whoever that the man was a part of the MS-13 gang. So that's where that came from. And remember, it was on record of saying that the Trump administration said they made a clerical error when it came to sending that man to El Salvador. So what I've learned is that the person who said it was a clerical error, I don't think they're with the Trump administration anymore. So in present time, the Trump administration is not standing behind this whole we made a clerical error type thing. They're not standing behind that. It was someone who said that, but the people who've been talking, like Pam Bondi, Caroline, Trump, they have not said that we made an error. They are still standing on he is an MS-13 gang member. And he is from El Salvador. So he went back to his home country. And if the President Bukele wants to keep him in prison because of the things that he's done, then President Bukele has that right. And President Bukele has decided to keep Kilmar Garcia in prison. I don't know what it would take for that man to be returned to the U.S. And the more I research, the more I sit in this man not coming home anytime soon, because Trump is the highest court. It's like everything or aspect that someone tries to make, as far as with telling on him, having him happen to go before someone else. Trump's position as president allows for him to dictate how other divisions can move. So if a judge say, hey, enforce Trump to do this, Trump can dictate said division on them not taking that action. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, really, I said, these people, these politicians, they've never even been in a situation like this, where you have a president who done gone rogue and is not adhering to what they're saying that he should do, and they're running out of people to tell. They're running out of people to get him to acquiesce to what they want to do, because his position actually allows for him to dictate how other chains within the government operate. He can dictate how Pam Bondi, and when it comes to that whole criminal, that aspect of the government, he dictates how they move. Y'all see what I'm saying? It's like a circle. It's like a circle. And the depths that they're going with Trump, they've never had to do this on this type of level with anyone. So that's what has so many people perplexed, because it's just like, who can control him? Right now, it's not showing at anybody, because everybody's looking for this judge right now who ordered him to facilitate the return of this man. People are looking for this judge to put him in contempt of court, which could result in fines, result in jail time, basically things that we haven't seen before within our government. It's crazy, yo. That's why I'm baffled. I'm baffled, but I am grateful that I have this platform, that I can come out here and talk to y'all about all this ish that got me baffled. Because you cannot make this issue up. Anybody who come on here might think I be lying, making up stuff. Oh, I ain't that creative. I'm analytical, but I'm not creative like that. That's not the hat I wear. I wear many hats, but the creativity, it's not that. So don't ever think that any of this issue you hear me say over here, that I done came up with this stuff. Y'all, this is real life stuff that's going down. This is real. And the crazy thing about it is, the crazier that it may sound with the things that I say, it's like, that's the truth. The more true it is, that's the true stuff. Like, y'all might be like, Sheik, you gotta be lying. That's good. Y'all, anything that I say, you all hear me say on here, go look it up for yourself. Go listen, fact check, go look into it. You will see what I'm talking about. The government is shooketh. They shooketh right now when it comes to President Trump, because he's moving how he wants, and there's yet anyone who can control him. It's like a circle. Y'all don't see it? Y'all don't feel like this issue is a circle, to where this person say this and then Trump do this, and now this person, like, remember the judge who he just went before this week, that's basically told the whole administration, I'm sick of y'all playing in my face. She ain't even finna come back to even talk with him and his administration until another 2 weeks. She need 2 weeks to get her mind right and her thoughts together to figure out what the heck to do. I'm like, okay, if he on this type of time and he's not doing what he's supposed to do, why you need 2 weeks to circle back around to see if he did? Y'all really think about it. Why do you need 2 weeks? Because they don't know what to do. They've never been in this position before, where they dealt with somebody who just straight like just don't care what they say and gonna do what they want to do. It's like a disobedient child. Like where you tell them, you keep telling them till you blue in the face, and then they still gonna do what they want to do. This is Trump. He's just doing what he wants to do because he's saying he has the right to do these things that he does. Now, me, I'm trusting that everything that he's doing, he has the right to do it because he's doing it. But as much as he and his team continues to have to go to court, it's like everything that he does, it's like there's people who are giving him like pushback to say, no, you can't do that. I've never seen anything like this before. And even these judges ain't never seen nothing like this before. It's like they look at him as that hard. Y'all know you had that hard-headed child that don't listen, that think that meat ain't greasy. That's Trump. But Trump was that was him as a child when he talked about just growing up in the family. Trump got sent to military school. Like he was that kid. Like this energy y'all see that Trump is given as the president, as a grown man in what 70s. This is the energy that Trump gave as a child. This is just who he is through and through. Can y'all imagine Trump as a child? Can y'all really imagine going to school? Can y'all imagine Trump as a child? Trump was one of the one like he'd be willing to get, you have those ones who's willing to get in trouble, a child willing to get a spanking or punishment, whatever, but they still gonna do what they want to do. They just gonna be like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm taking these keys, I'm taking my parents' car, it's just gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm gonna have me a good time. I'll deal with whatever later. That's the energy that Trump has. He gives that energy that he was that one to where I told y'all he got sent off to military school. He got sent off to military school. Can y'all blame the parents sending him off? Some of y'all may have a kid that gives this energy that I'm describing. Like, this is Trump. He gonna do what he want to do. He gonna stand 10 toes down, and he's willing to take whatever consequences, whatever that will come as a result of how he moves, because that's how strongly he stands on what it is that he's doing. This is who this man is. This is who he is. He stands on business. He stands on business. We watch him do it every day, and his team that he's built around him, they stand on business too. Hook and Cook said he still sucks. So it is what it is. Whether he sucks or not, he stand on business. I always hear the Democrats say one thing about Trump: he do what he say he gonna do. He say, I'm putting you on that one-way Spirit flight to El Salvador, then that's what he gonna do. That is what he's gonna do. As of right now, there is no plans for that administration have announced of having Kilmar Garcia return to the USA, because they said even if he does get returned to the USA, he's still getting on another Spirit flight back to El Salvador, just dropped off in the country. And then when he gets there, Bukele, the president of El Salvador, can do whatever he wants with him now that he's back. But so they said, no matter how you slice it and dice it, he's not going to be on the streets because he's classified as a terrorist. What they've classified, they wrote into law like those the illegal immigrants who commit crimes, they have them like certain type of crimes, they can classify them as some forms of terrorists. And so that's how they look at him, as like a terrorist. So whether he's here, wherever he's at, the U.S. does not want him on the streets, and El Salvador does not want him on the streets, because they say he's not a good person. I'm ready to see price of food drop. Well, we've seen where eggs dropped. I don't buy eggs in the store, but I know eggs have dropped. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that President Trump is working on. So I don't know with all that he's working on when we will see collectively like a change when it comes to the food on the shelves, when that would take place. But what he says is that all these moves that he's making, these business moves that he's making, is to get us to that point for, us to see, lower prices and things like that. So it hasn't happened yet. Buddha said lies, lies, lies. That's what that man said. I'm trying to let him cook because we haven't, I don't think we haven't hit 90 days yet. So he's still within the first 90 days of being in the White House, even though it seems like he's been in there much, much longer than that. So I'm keeping that in mind, and trying to be patient with, seeing things such, centered around pricing and things become better for the working class in the US as a result of these changes that he's implementing. But what I am seeing is a lot of countries committing to opening up manufacturers like here and things like that, which is what he's been wanting. He's it's almost like weekly just about where he's announcing another company who has committed to coming over to the USA to open up um, manufacturing plants or whatever to build their products. Like there's a lot there's a lot of companies that are doing that, and that's supposed to result in more jobs for the American citizens. And that's not going to be an overnight thing, because first of all they have to build these plants, so they're going to have to do that. Some of the plants, most of the businesses that I've heard about coming over here, I hadn't heard like a time frame, but there's some where I've heard where it's maybe like 2026. Like it hasn't really been one I think that I've heard where the manufacturing facilities would be open like in 2025. But like I said, they have to kind of build them and do all that you do when you're opening up a business. Then you kind of, staff them or whatever. So you just got to be tapped in into just the things that the administration is reporting on, as it pertains to the businesses that are coming to the USA. So if you are interested in employment at one of these places, you'll kind of know uh, when you can go and try to apply. So I know there's, multiple automobile makers who are opening up plants and manufacturing here, doing their manufacturing here. So yeah, you just got to research. I think it's Hyundai, like there's multiple. So do your research. And if you're interested in a job and, wanting to work for one of those companies, yeah, you follow them and just look for them to make updates. 54 likes, 54 people. Hit the like button. If double tap the screen. Reza said when Trump was in the office, he kept Russia out of Ukraine. I remember that part. Yeah. Like it was, I don't think, was it true? I think when he was in office, we didn't have a war at all when he was in office, which is not typically the norm. But Trump has done, he does well with, he has good negotiation skills. I'll say that. But he's a businessman. So I think, I think being a president, like you have to, to me, it makes sense for a president to run this U.S., our nation, like a business, because it is. So I think Trump's mindset and him coming from corporate, that type of environment, or just being an entrepreneur, maybe not corporate, because I don't think he ever worked for anybody, but just having the entrepreneurial mindset and employing probably thousands of people over the years. To me, I can see how he can bring those skills over to, the White House, with how he runs and operates our country and how he goes to the table to negotiate deals and things. because it's centered around his ability to effectively communicate. He's shown that he's an effective, he can communicate. He's a good communicator. He's a good communicator. And prior to the start, him wanting to change the game with these tariffs, people, considered him a likable person, as far as the other leaders in the other countries. Some probably still do. Bukele seemed to be pretty fond of Trump. They seem to be fond of one another. But, Bukele, he runs a tight ship. And as we see, the leader of China, he don't play no games either. So we're in an era of these leaders who are all like standing on business. So it comes down to, okay, who's going to be the first to break? Because we got this energy of I'm standing on business. There's no weaklings. And I think people, a lot of leaders view Biden as weak, especially Ukraine, because every time they need to hold something, Biden was sending them cash apps and Zelle payments. So there went that. There went the money. There's the money for the homeless. Biden then sent another cash app. So I think underneath the previous administrations, it had us looking weak. Like, well, if you need to hold something, go hit the US. They good for it. They'll give it to you. And then when Trump came along, he was like, no, no, no. We closing the bank. No more money going out. Money is coming in. And they like, what? What do you mean? What so do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean your cash app, your Zelle ain't working? It don't work for you. It don't go to Ukraine no more. It been going to Ukraine. It been working for the past 4 years. What do you mean? It don't work. So people are right now having to deal with the change of the regime, the Trump regime, because it's different. Even just regular American citizens, it's a hard pill to swallow because it's very different. It's something we've never seen before. He's different. He's a different type of leader. He's a different type of leader. And I think too what largely makes him to be a different type of leader is because he doesn't his history, his background isn't politics. His background is business. So he don't operate like a typical politician does. He operates like a businessman. So he runs the country that way. And a lot of people like that doesn't make sense to them. But to him, he's like, which y'all politicians been doing all these years. I don't understand why y'all been allowing for other places to charge you insane amounts on tariffs, and in return you haven't matched that same energy. I don't understand that. As a businessman, that's just not something he was able to grasp his mind around. Like, what? That's like giving away your product for free and then you run out of inventory. Like, and now what do you do? So Trump was always baffled about how our country was ran because it didn't make sense to him. So once he got in the White House and started running the country in a way that has made sense to him, then I feel like during his first term, we saw better days. We saw better days. And then unfortunately on his watch at the tail end, that's when the whole pandemic happened. And then it kind of messed up his numbers as far as like the positive numbers and things when it came to certain things, maybe with employment, um, cost of food and things like that. When the pandemic happened, something that wasn't in his control, it it impacted just the view of how our country looked. And given that he was our leader at the time, it just made it like look like, oh, okay, well, this happened on your watch. And it's like, well, yes, I was the president at that time, but let's talk about the things I had control over versus the things I didn't. Let's look at the data associated with the things I had control over and how we were winning. And then you look at the data of the things that don't look so good and you use common sense to determine if whether or not I had control over that. Because our country going into the pandemic was at a good place. It was at a good place. So that's why I trusted, when he uh, wanted to run again. I'm like, well, yes, because I felt like when he was in office that first time, our country was like at a good place, in a good place. So I'm like, yeah, I'll vote for him because I didn't vote for him the first time. But once I saw what he did, I'm like, all right, then I can rock with you because I seen his work. So I'm like, yo, okay, well, I like what you did and I'm here for it. So yeah, I'll sign up for another term. That was my mindset. Donna said, where them Epstein files? I've been wondering where the Epstein files are too. I personally think that them Epstein files, it has names on it that are what that people even in the Trump administration know. And that therefore they're not going to reveal them. I don't see them being revealed, at least underneath the Trump administration. I don't think he wants them to be revealed because of some names that he's seen on those files. I feel like they should be revealed regardless, but because of the names that are on those files, I think that's why he has not revealed them. And over the years, there's been conversations about the names that could potentially, that's rumored to be on the files. I think there's been some plane logs released with some celebrity names, politician names, and there's so many names to where to think that Trump don't know some people like personally on that log is crazy. No, I think there's some people on that log that he's like, oh, MG, like, okay, yeah, we can't release this. I didn't know they was on there, but now that I do, we can't release it. We cannot release it. So he's not releasing it. I feel like he should release it. As a president, they said, hey, we're going to release it, but it's been radio silence since that week where Pam said she was going to release it on like a Thursday. And then when it didn't happen, she said that she didn't have all the files and she reached out to Patel to demand he give her all the files by 8 o'clock the next morning. And we just never heard anything else. We don't know if those files were over to her by 8 o'clock in the morning. We just never heard anything else. So yeah, don't hold your breath on that. Don't hold your breath on that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Um, it'll go down in history, I think, as just one of those things that people will talk about and wonder, but will you ever see the proof? It may be years down the line when majority of the people on the list are probably no longer even with us. So it'll be almost like it don't even matter anymore, just only because, like, and I say that just only because they can't be dealt with anymore because the people are no longer with us in the living. So that's what I mean. Otherwise, I mean, because it still matters, we know, but the person is not going to be able to be punished um, by jail time or whatever because they just won't be with us anymore. I think it's going to be, on that type of time. And if we're lucky enough, for many of us, it may be in our lifetime, but it may not even be in our lifetime. Just depends on how old you are. Lord willing, if you're here to see it. I'm hoping that I'm here to see the release of those files. Yeah. And all, at the end of the day, it's best for each and every one of us. And that's going to look different for each and every one of us. That, doing what's best for you, it's going to look different for you than it looks for me. But that's what it's about. What's your best interest for you and your family. You got to take care of yours first and foremost, because if you don't, who else will, right? If you don't, who else will? Hopefully I haven't lost connection. Let me know if you can hear me. My numbers are dropping. Let me know if you can hear me. All right. See, like numbers going up. Want to make sure I didn't lose connection. But yep. Right now we're in a time of every man for themselves. Every man for themselves. Because the rich, thank you, Dr. J, the rich will continue to get rich. And us working class people will continue to have to thug it out by working hard, going to our jobs, doing whatever it is that we do that allows for us to earn an income, put food on the table, clothes on our backs for ourselves and our loved ones. And we can't really overly worry about the powers that be and what they're doing or how they're doing it, because at the end of the day, we don't control it. I am a believer that prayer works. I am a believer there is strength in numbers. So if you do have a strong belief about something and you find other people who feel the same, say it with your chest, whatever your stance is, and the goal is for you to be heard. The answer isn't violence. I never understand why people resort into that, because it just you just end up just locked up or just no longer here. Like, so I don't ever really understand that. I don't think that's ever the right way to handle your problems. You talk it out. You talk it out. You got to figure out how to navigate through those emotions, because all the things that are going on right now, it is having a big impact on a lot of people's mental health. Understandably, people are really concerned about the economy, Social Security, Biden. What I did gather, because I struggled, but he said the word Social Security a few times, so I just know he was talking about Social Security, something that he would never need or have never used because he got $1 billion. So it's just like, okay, sir. But I do, understand that Social Security is very important, and people have worked a long time and paid into it, and they should feel like when it's time to use it, that it's there. Because remember, you done paid all them taxes. They done sent you them invoices when they say you done short paid, you done pay enough. So you done gave them their money, and you just want what's due to you when it's time for you to cash out, right? Sounds fair to me. But unfortunately, that's not the way it is for a lot of people. People are seeing like, no, it's not like that, or it's looking like it's not going to be that way. And it's disheartening, because you have a lot of people right now who are in their 60s and 70s who are still working full-time jobs. I know people who work at Amazon. They're like, okay, there are seniors who have came out of retirement to go back to work because the Social Security check that they're pulling in isn't enough. The average recipient of a Social Security check in the US is under $2,000. Y'all can let me know in this chat if anybody in here getting a Social Security check each month that's 2,000 or more, because I believe what I learned is that the average Social Security payment, I think, is maybe around $1,400. And I remember that day talking about it, and people in my chat, they were dropping numbers in about what they were getting, and it was less than that. Y'all let me know where you live. Let me know if you can live off of $1,400 a month. Just let me know, because I know in Georgia I can't live off of that. Y'all can let me know, because this is the expectation. This is right now with people who are nearing retirement or who are in retirement. This is what they're being told, like, yo, this all you got. Now I understand eggs and went up, bread, gas, but your monthly deposit, it is what it's gonna be. It's not impacted by, what do you call it, inflation and all of that. No, that's not impacted. Now what I've been hearing is that with the current administration, the Trump administration, there's been talks of increasing the Social Security payments, for people, I think by upwards of maybe by $300 a month or something like that. Can't remember the exact details centered around that, but I have heard Trump and Elon, there being talks about increasing the Social Security, which I think would be awesome because it's hard. It's hard. I always wonder those. So where I live in Georgia, they have a lot of like senior communities where it's just you gotta be like say, well, they have these 55 and over communities, and then you still have your other communities for like the assisted living. So both of them are just super expensive here in Georgia. I always wonder what kind of jobs did these people have that allow for them to live in those type of communities or those environments, because when my late father-in-law was still living and my husband and his mom and dad went and visited one, it was going to be more of like the assisted living type environment. It was going to be like $8,000 a month for him to stay there. Now, granted, the community had everything. It had restaurants, they had dry cleaning, golf course, like it had everything. This was now when this quote of $8,000, this had to have been maybe 9 years ago. So if it was 8,000 then today, what y'all think it would be today if 8 years ago, 9 years ago, it probably be anywhere ago. Thousand in when you add inflation. They have the audacity to tell them, yo, like, so if he were to stay here, we need access to his 401k account, his account. So therefore, we can go in and take out the monies for his, bill or whatever every month. Yep. So that's where the money was coming from to pay for his stay there. The They were like, yo, like, you need to give us all the information so we can go in there and pull out whatever. It wasn't even an option to just be like, no, I'll take care of myself. Like, they were like, yo, it's almost like, y'all know how you might have some environments where it's like a automatic auto pay, but you typically don't deal with that in a housing type environment. How many of y'all got auto pay on your rent? Some people who have a mortgage, they probably set their account up to have the mortgage come out or whatever. I'm not I pay you because it's due on the first. Hell, I might need to pay you on the third. So don't worry about doing nothing auto. I pay it myself. So, but I always wonder, like, what type of jobs these people did to be able to afford that. I'd be confused because these type of environments for these seniors is popping up everywhere. So it's some people moving in them, but I just be wondering, like, military. I do know a lot of people who came out of the military, like they typically have like good income coming in and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people who are vets, and my neighborhood has a lot of them. When you're purchasing a home, you typically can get with the VA loan and things like that. So there's perks, lifetime perks for people who served in the military before. So I don't know if they mostly the people who living in these expensive communities, but they're popping up all over the place in Georgia. They've been popping up a lot. I would say over the past 7 years. Yeah, it's been about 7 years since I started just seeing them heavily just pop up in my community. So yeah, you let me know in the comments where you live. Where do you live? And if you are a senior, or if you're 55 and older, are you on a fixed income? Are you concerned about what your finances is going to look like the day you have to retire, the day you no longer physically are able to work? Because what happens to those people, those men or women, say you're now 70 and you just physically you just can't, you're just not able to work, but the income that's coming in isn't enough. Like, that's a real question. That's a real situation for a lot of people. See, at least the example I gave y'all about Amazon, these are people who were able to still go to work. They may not wanted to, but they were able, still physically able to go work. But what about the people who physically are unable to work? So they just all they got is just that Social Security check that may be $1,300. What happens with them? What happens if they don't have family who can afford to take them in and financially support them, or offset, their income, where, okay, give them an extra $1,000 every month? Because a lot of people don't have it, even though they would like to have it to be able to help their parents. They can't give what they don't have. They can't give what they don't have, right? You can't give what you don't have. And then some of the adult children, they may not have the space or the capacity to take in mama or daddy and do all the things, like be almost like they nurse, because they still got to go to work. The average household, I don't think, from a financial standpoint, according to the stats, the average household, if there's at least two adults in the house, they're working. And to bring in an elderly, a senior person in the home, that would be a strain for the average American household, because not every senior has benefits or resources that allows for a nurse to come into the home to take care of their needs, say while the adult children are at work. A lot of homes, if they were to bring in a parent into their home, they have to be the one. They got to be the nurse. They have to be the nurse, because there's no means to pay for someone to come X amount of hours a day to take care of their loved one, their parent, their aging parent. They on their I ain't got it. Everybody on their Tasha K, I ain't got it. So it's not going to be about where, oh, you got these adult kids out here who don't want to do whatever for their aging parents. They legit ain't gonna be able to do it. They not gonna have it. They're not gonna have it. They're gonna still have their children that they still gotta take care and raise, right? So they're not gonna have the bandwidth like that to be able to take on physically taking care of their elderly parent, if there's no money, not enough money, resources around that can help them out with those, with taking care of, that particular aging parent. So it's a lot. It's deep. It's the reality of the situation for a lot of people in the USA. Y'all can let me know in other countries if you're tapping in. How do you navigate through, taking care of senior parents who can't take care of themselves? I know with a lot of other cultural groups, like with the Asian cultural group and even Hispanic cultural group, you'll see grandma in the house with the adult children and the grandchildren. My mother-in-law, she lives with me, almost like part-time, but I don't think it's really, as you don't see it as much with like the Black community, where grandma is in the house with her adult children and grandchildren. Like, what you will see is, you'll see a lot of grandparents who are raising their grandkids. You see that a lot in our community. Grandparents raising their grandkids. Some of you may be doing it, but you don't see a heavy in Black community where multi generations like are living together in one home like that. Like, typically, like, the norm is going to be, when our children are grown, 18 or above, or out of college, and they're able to get a job, they go on their own and they pay their own bills. And our kids tend to leave the house, I think, at earlier ages probably than some of the other cultural groups, because the message is, hey, you're an adult now. You need to go out. You need to take care of yourself. Whereas to me, what I've come to see from my understanding with other cultural groups is that they don't want just to to have their kids out of the home and struggling. They want their children to leave the home and be positioned to be able to like purchase a house, to build their credit. Like they want to have their kids leave in like a strong, like to where they have a strong foundation and not be struggling if they go out and just live on their own. And that's kind of different than what I see, as a collective when it comes to like um, the Black community. I don't see it like that. It's just more so like, listen, yep, you're grown now, so it's time for you to leave the nest and go make it do what it do. Keep your head up. I'm here. Let me know, if you run into any hiccups, call me if you need me, but it's time for you to fly. And nowadays, with as much as things cost, I think we are in times to where our kids are going to, in with the people that look like us, because remember I said that look like me, typically, they're leaving the house earlier. But I think now, because of these times and how expensive things are, our children, we're going to have to move more like the other cultural groups with allowing for our kids to be at home longer because they can't afford to go out there and live on their own. Right? They can't afford. Like, how many of you in here have young adult children who's able to afford to live on their own? Let me know. And if they are living on their own, how many roommates do they have? How many roommates? Because it's so expensive. It's so expensive. I'm wondering here's another thought, you all, as I'm talking about the price of things. So anyone who's ever been in the military, military life is different than civilian life. Military life is like you legit make all your money and like almost don't pay bills. Like your roof over your head. Like if you live on base, like there's your living expenses. So you don't have a lot of those outside, out of pocket expenses that like a civilian would have, right? Where we got all these bills. So I'm wondering now if maybe the rate of people joining the military may increase. What y'all think? Y'all think that may happen? If people will be more likely to join the military because out of survival, because things cost so much, so they like, listen, I need Uncle Sam to go ahead and take over this bill right here. Rent too much. I need to be able to live on somebody's boat, somebody's base. The thought just crossed my mind because I understand how different military life is from civilian life, and a lot of times people struggle with the transition from military life to civilian life because they're used to having someone kind of tell them how to move. Like if you're in the military, like you got sergeants, you got people you report to, so you're very disciplined. Somebody's telling you everything. So it's not like you got to do a lot of thinking and figuring things out yourself. You're basically being told what to do and you're following orders. But with civilian life isn't like that. To me, it's almost too like, hey, say somebody who's used to came out the penal system and did time, and then they step out and they're free. Them struggling with being back into society and moving around with, people again, because you're used to like you're institutionalized. A lot of people, like when you come out of the penal, you're institutionalized. So that does something to you because no telling well how many, I would say the longer you were in there, probably the more institutionalized you are. But some of us, hell, we do one day, we change forever. So I just really wonder if now, like military, the rate at which people join the military will increase out of survival. From a logical standpoint, it makes sense if that were to happen for all these reasons I just said. It makes sense. It makes sense. You can go, and if you want to go to college, after being in, I think after you've been in there a couple of years, they'll pay for your education, things like that. To me, it makes sense for people, young people, to join. Now, I'm not advocating that that's the move. I'm just saying that from a financial standpoint, I can understand why that would be somebody's plan, just out of survival. Just out of survival. Just to go and be able to maybe do their 4 years, 6 years, whatever, and to just afterwards have just a lifetime of the benefits as a result of just being in the military. Lynn says, not with him in the office, more will join the military. He still wonders, not with him in the office will more join the service. He still wonders why we don't use our nukes. Maybe when someone sane comes into the office. But here's the thing, Lynn, there's a lot of people who ride for Trump. You got a lot of people who don't, but based off of how, he's president, there's a lot of people who ride for him. So I can see a good number of people being willing to sign up to go to the military. At one point, I was hearing how there was like this shortage of people going into the military and all of that, but I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. I don't know if it's still a shortage with people wanting to go to the military like it was before. I don't know. So this is just all coming to me. I would have to just kind of deep dive and do my research just to see what the numbers, what the data shows. But to me, from a survival standpoint, it makes sense, especially for the young people, someone who's coming out of college, who's coming out of high school, someone who's not interested in accumulating debt. That's in heavy conversation today. Student loans, college debt. People are not here for that anymore. People are like, yo, this ain't the way. I need to do something else. So they're looking for alternative things to do. Some maybe trade school, but I think military is one. I have a family member who she graduated last May. She went off to the military. She's the first person in since I've been living in my family who I've seen go and enlist in the military. When I was in high school, I entertained the idea for a little bit, but no one that I ever knew, during my generation went to the military. So now it's like something I want to try to kind of. Yaman says there is no longer a short for the military. Y'all do your research, look into it, because it makes sense to me. People probably going to be going running to sign up just out of survival, because they're like, listen, I got to get out of my mama house. That's, remember, y'all, I done told y'all with people, the families that look like me, how it goes. You got to move on. You got to leave the nest. So these kids are like, okay, I got to do something. I've heard people that, that look like me, they'll say, hey, I tell you why I joined the military. I joined the military because it was either that or the streets. And the streets was going to have me locked up or 6 feet under. That's why I chose to go to the military. I know a couple of men, black men, that was their story. Both of them are, one's in his 50s right now. And I think one, maybe he might be 60. But that was both of their story. That was the reason why they went to the military. Because prior to going to the military, they was trying to live a street life, and they seen that it was getting hard, and they seen the path that they were heading, and they knew that they had to quickly make a pivot. And they both chose to go into the military. Now, I'm telling y'all this story. These are people who are today in their 50s. One is probably 60. So if this was the mindset back then, you don't think that today's time and with the economy that people wouldn't be thinking along those lines? I think today more so than ever, because back then those men, when they were young men coming out of high school, they wasn't even focused on it from the financial standpoint, because they came from families. It was just from just survival. But today, I don't think really the focus is really about survival from like the street life. It's about survival for just paying your bills. It's like, Sheik, I had to go and listen, be all I could be. Because the way this rent was looking, I had no choice. I seen that graduation was going to be May 23rd, 2025. And the price of rent was something that my little check from Chick-fil-A wasn't going to cover. So that man had been calling my phone, sending me text messages, trying to talk to me to get to about enlisting, and I just had to. I finally went ahead and went and sat down with him to hear what the heck he had to say, because I could not afford not to. Tell me if this ain't making sense. What I'm saying, the logic behind why people will probably go enlist in the military. We see people in the chat talking about, oh, I still need stuff to go down. I need food to go down. Y'all, we don't know when that's going to happen. We don't know when that's going to happen. So in the meantime, people still need to survive, right? People still need to survive. So people are having to think outside of the box and consider other options. Miriam said trade schools are worth it. Yes. But here's the thing. It's a combination of, yes, trade schools. But when it comes to the military from a financial standpoint, it's going to, from a financial standpoint, it's going to have the faster return. So it's going to come down to how fast someone is looking to make moves. Like, as though, like, yo, I'm about to graduate in May. My mama and daddy, my mama tripping. She said, I got to go. I got to do something. Trade school, what you gotta, that's another couple of years, 18 months, 12 to 24 months to work that out. So you ain't gonna start getting to the money until what? After you finish trade school. Whereas with the military, that's like instant. You sign up, they accept you, take your little test, and then you get your date on when you go to your boot camp, your training. You see how fast that is? So already you able to get out of mama's house. Already you're able to go and do your own thing and not worry about finances. Here's another thing. I know people who we've even joined in there. Again, these are older people. I'm telling y'all examples of just the mindset of black men. All three of them were black men. The mindset of black men who are in their 50s and 60s. Some of them even had a mindset of going just so they could make money to take care of their family, like their moms, if they were in a single parent household. So they were like, yo, I went and did this and I would just save my money or whatever, because they wanted to send money to the family. So they were looking beyond themselves and seeing, okay, I got to figure out how I can help here because times are hard. Some youth may have those type of thoughts where they're like, okay, it's hard. Mama just lost her job. She was working for the government for however long. She don't have that job no more. I got to help my mama out. This man, these people from the military, they've been blowing me up. They've been wanting me to come and talk to him. Maybe I need to go talk to him because it's hard. I got to help my family. And I don't know anyone in these current times who have that thought process. But my thing is, if I can talk to you all and have these thoughts, that means it's plausible for it to be a thing for many people. People who are in stress, who needs money, who needs a roof over their head, who's like needs things now and feel like they can't wait to go through a program, a apprentice, or go to trade school. They're like, yo, I need to do something now. So, but it remains to be seen. Like I said, do your research, look into the military numbers, see if it's the sign up rates are on the rise. I have to do that. I have to look into that because now I'm curious, because it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. And here's the thing about with military, there's a lot of perks to it. There's a lot of perks to being in the military. Lifetime benefits. There are a lot of lifetime benefits to being in the military. And if we want to focus on the part of losing your life, just look at stats and see what percentage of people in, let's just say, the last 20 years, if you want to do 20 years, 10 years, what percentage of people lost their life in combat. So when you drill down in the numbers, a person may think, well, these odds aren't so bad. These odds are better than the odds of me surviving within my community. These odds are better than the odds of me not going to jail, not catching a case. Because there's pros and cons in everything. There's pros and cons in everything. And times are so hard right now that people really have to kind of really think about these types of things and really go deep. And if they're not, they need to. This is what it looks like to have a plan and to be strategic. Those of you who are parents and you got teenage children, what are you talking to your children about when it comes to their future and their career plans? Are you keeping it real with them about our world going towards AI, heavily in AI, and encouraging for them to seek out careers centered around technology? Because that's the way of the future. You ain't got to like it or love it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. So it makes sense for someone who's early on trying to figure out what they want to do. It makes sense for them to do their research to see what direction our future is moving in and then move accordingly. If our future is moving in a direction to wanting us to go back to making things, does it make sense to talk to your child about learning how to utilize their hands and build things? Does that make sense? If that's the future, because remember, Trump's talking about bringing factories and things like that. Does it make sense to encourage your child to learn how to use their hands versus pushing them to go to a traditional, sorry, I have the glare on my phone, I'm driving, to go to a traditional maybe 4-year college or something like that? Does that make sense? Does it make sense for your child to go to school because they want to be a teacher, and then they leave school with $65,000 in student debt, when the way of our future when it comes to education heavily involves AI? And what that means is that that's fewer teachers that will be needed. Anytime AI is incorporated into things, it reduces the actual head count of people that need to be involved in whatever that is. That's just how it works, no matter what the environment is. That's the whole purpose of it. So you really have to talk to your kids and really kick it to them about really the direction that the world is going in, and have them go deep to try to figure out, based off of what their interests are, how they can align that with technology, with AI. Because they may not know how to incorporate that into AI, whatever that may be, but they have to do their research to figure it out, because that's our future and there's nothing we can do about that. And I know many of you don't want your child at 30. Some of y'all probably still got your kids at 30 plus living in the house with y'all, with your grandkids, everybody at the house. You don't want that. So if you don't want that, you want to talk to your children about choosing a career that's going to allow for them to support themselves, right? It's nice to, okay, you go into a career that, yeah, this is really what I love and my passion, but can your passion feed you? Can your passion keep a roof over your head? Sometimes the reality of the situation is that your passion don't pay, is not enough. It don't bring in the money. So what you got to do, you have to do a job that will bring in the money that allow for you to do your passion on the side. Therefore, you don't have to rely on surviving from your passion, but you're able to do it. You see what I'm saying? You know, okay, I do this job because it pays my bills, but when I'm not doing this job, I'm doing this over here because it's my passion. Makes sense to me, y'all. This ain't that deep. Makes sense to me. What is the priority? What's the priority? You got to live, right? How many of us have done that, where you started out your life and you were focused, centered around the passion part, and it couldn't pay your bills, and you didn't get the memo early enough in life to know that you got to live, and sometimes your passion not going to make for you, not going to bring in enough money for you to live. But that's the truth of the matter. You're like, am I making sense? Y'all let me know in these comments. Am I making sense? Because somebody in today's time hollered, I want to go to school and get a degree and accumulate debt because I want to be a second grade teacher. Ma'am, let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, baby. Let's talk. Come on, let's talk. Let's talk. Because all we hear about is how these teachers don't make money. So to co-sign that as a parent to your child who's taught, let's talk. let me holler at you. Come here, baby. Let's talk. Let me show you some stats. Let me show you some data. Because and I'm showing you this because I want you to be positioned to be able to succeed in life and do all those things that you said you wanted to do in life. And guess what? To be a teacher, you don't have to have a degree in teaching. You can very well get your education in something else that's going to pay your bills. And when you're not doing that job, you can get your fix on teaching by maybe tutoring kids after school, doing something else to where if you are making money from it, you're not relying on that to survive, but you're still tapping into the teaching. You see what I'm saying? Don't mean you can't do it. You got to make sure that you're doing something that's going to keep a roof over your head and food on the table. You got to figure out how to do them both. You can't be a one trick pony. Those days are gone. You hear all the time people say, you need multiple streams of income. You can't have tunnel vision and you can't do it. You can't do it. And it doesn't come about it. Here, I'll add this. Everything is about the money. Everything is about money at the end of the day. Listen, I don't make up the rules, but I would gladly repeat them. Everything is about money. You need money to live. You need money to put food on the table. You need money to take care of your kids. Tell me something that's not about money. Everything. Newsom suing President Trump. If y'all might have just came in, Newsom, this video, I started this live about Newsom announces California lawsuit against Trump's tariffs. Tell me what's not. Listen, I'm at the stoplight. Y'all let me know what is not about money. Money makes the world go round. Everything is about money. You have to figure out how to make that work for you, how you can get to it and still enjoy it. But you can't live off of love. What love got? What's love got to do with love? Okay, get in a relationship and you not bring no money in. If you a man and you tell that woman, listen, but I love you, I got my love, but you ain't bringing no money in, you ain't coming in with no check. See how long she gonna stick around. See how long good she gonna stick around. You come step into a woman without no coin and you tell her, but I got love. Oh, okay. We see how long that worked out. How how that worked out for you, because love don't pay bills. Love don't put food on the table. Love is nice. Love is fluid. Money's universal. Money is just something that's always here. That's a thing that we need. I bet you that woman ain't finna love you enough for you to be laid up on the side of her and you ain't coming in with no money. I bet you that. You're gonna be like, well, dang, you don't love me. Why? That energy gonna change real quick. That energy is gonna quickly change. You start talking about, I ain't got no money, but I love you. She gonna be like, that's not enough. Like, okay, what is that? Okay, and I need you got some people who be like, love, that's a nice must have, but money, I need money. I need money to survive. I need money to survive. This love right here, I can go seasons without having love, but I can't go seasons without having money. So you go out there and get that money, and then when you get it, you hit me up, and maybe we can talk. You hit me up and maybe we could talk. You hit me up and maybe we can talk, but yeah, everything's about money at the end of the day. Everything. Not some of the things, everything. Some of y'all might have never heard that before, but listen. Welcome to Chic Speaks on it. You're going to hear some things over here. I ain't for the faint at heart. I'm not for the faint at heart, but I'm just saying everything is rooted in money. It's just the way it is. When you go to gas, what you finna tell? Go to the gas station. I'm passing Chevron. I'm gonna walk up in there and say, "I got love. Can I put love on it on pump 8? Can y'all put love? Can I put love on it on pump number 8? Y'all think I'm gonna get me some gas? I'm gonna get my tank filled up if I told them to put love on it on pump number 8? No, this is the part I'm telling you. So that's why we have to make our children understand that you have to figure out a way to incorporate what you love, and then survival, what's going to earn you money to live, especially as a man, and you're wanting to one day have a wife and children where you are expected to be the provider. You can't be stepping to that woman talking about, I got love to offer, but you trying to take her hand in marriage and wanting to have children. That's not going to cut it. I don't know where that cut it. I don't know what country that even cut it in. This ain't even no just a USA thing. Like, people gonna look at you like you crazy, wondering where you came from. They gonna look at you wondering why you don't understand at your big age that love is not enough. Love is an addition to the money, but that's not an only, like, no, that's on that. That is on that. But those who think, you can live off of love, all right, then, well, good luck with that, especially with the way these prices rising. Good luck on love. Hashtag love on pump number 8. Hashtag love on pump number 8. Love on hashtag number 8. It's hard out here. So we got to think beyond love and really think about, okay, how we gonna get to it. We got to think about how we gonna get to it, y'all. We got to get to it. Yeah, we got to think about how we gonna get to it, because right now it's hard out here. So we're in a time to where not only do you need one income, you need multiple incomes. Like, that's the conversation. What else can you do to bring in another income? Because at any day, that one income that you have can suddenly be gone. Like, this is like where we're at right now. When it comes to, like, I kick the reality, and I may say it in a way you ain't even heard it before, but I say it because I want to get your attention, that it's not about your feelings. It's about me saying the reality of the situation. This is the reality. People need money. People are still saying, hey, I need these food prices to go down. You think those same people are saying, I need these food prices to go down, are going to be here for someone saying, well, I ain't got no money, but I got love. Can I come stay with you? I think not. I think not. They're gonna be like, well, come holler at me when you got some money, because this bill due right here. So I can't do nothing with your love just yet. But come, once you come and take care of these bills, and I don't have to think about that and have that weighing on me as I try to figure out how I'm gonna pay it, then I can then open myself to even consider love. But I mean, but really think about it. How many of you, to where, say some of you may be single, but you got stuff going on in your life and your finances ain't right. Like, can you really even think about love on that type of level, because you're so stuck on whatever obstacle you're trying to get over that maybe has to do with survival, to where when you even think about love, you're more so is rooted in wanting to have a helpmate, someone who can help you, right? Again, finances. You're like, man, I love to say, have someone that I love that can help me pay these bills around here. Like, that's That's what it is. And let me add this for some of you. Some of you may be men and questioning what I'm saying. Women are naturally hypergamous. So what that means is that we naturally are attracted to a man based off of how his ability to provide and to protect. That's natural for us. You ever see women who are maybe really attractive and then they'll be with a man and you're wondering like how he get her? It's rooted in what he's able to do for her. The resources, because women are natural hypergamous. Any of you women right now, I challenge you, when you're with the whoever you are with, would you be with that person if they were not able to provide and protect you? If you felt like you were in this thing by yourself and all they had to offer was love, your stuff will dry up. It'll be like the Sahara Desert. It will be like the Sahara Desert because you're going to be like, oh, I'm good without all of that. I need these bills to be paid. I ain't got to have a D for all that. Like this bill got to get paid. That's how we are. That's the natural hypergamy in a woman. Men, you're not wired that way. You're not. You don't look the average man isn't looking for a woman based off of what she's able to do for them financially. Because the average man will have the understanding that the man's job is to protect, to protect and to provide. So when they're looking at that woman, they're not looking at her in a way that we look at the man. They're just looking at that woman based off of, okay, is she attractive? Do she make me feel good? You know, can she be the mother of my kids? It's not really looking at her from her ability to help him survive. Women look at men from a place of survival. Can this person help me to survive? Some of y'all may have never heard this before, but I'm letting you know this is what it's rooted in. That's why you see so many women, and you be like, oh, she's just with him for the money, this, and that, because it's rooted in a woman being naturally hypergamous. Look it up. You may not like it, but I'm telling you what the deal is as a woman. You can get on here and tell me what the deal is for you as a man, but as a man, you can't argue with a woman as she explains what the deal is as a woman when it comes to how she views a man. This is the rules of engagement. Welcome to Sheep Speaks on it. Like, share, and subscribe. You got to pay like you weigh. You ever heard that saying? You got to pay like you weigh. That's a real statement. You got to pay like you weigh. Don't say I ain't told you. Don't say I ain't told you. And for you men who question these, talk to women as you know that you encounter siblings and talk to them. Hey, what do you look for in a man? And see if she mentions if protection providing, if that's the top of her list. Then ask her, okay, well, if he unable to do that and he just can just love you, is that enough? Like, she can be like, well, I mean, I want him to love me, but he still got to bring that check home. Like, watch, she gonna tell you. If you don't want to know the truth, don't go asking her now because you might get your feelings hurt. But she gonna let you know. She gonna let you know, like, yeah, I mean, you know, I want him to love me and be faithful and all this, but yeah, I need for him to be able to protect, provide, and do those masculine things. Like, it is what it is. Listen, like, I'm just aware of the rules. I'm very much aware of the rules. And when you look around and you see how people move, you see, you know, there's something to that. You see the collective of how women choose men. Look at other races, how they choose men. That women, really, I think that black women are the least on their hypergamy type tip. Other race, other women, white women, Asian, other women of other from other races, they're more on. They move. They move when it comes to hypergamy, just on a whole nother level than like the black woman when it comes to that. You'll find more black women who on the, okay, well, your love will be enough for right now, but your average white woman ain't finna be on no your love is enough type tip. Mm-mm. Becky gonna be like, I mean, I understand that, but my daddy had loved my mama too and paid the bills, so I don't understand why you can't, why we can't have both. I'm confused. I'm confused why we can't have both. Why we can't have love and money. Why we can't have love and money. So that's on that. But I need to go ahead. Let me see. Gas. Gas right now in Georgia is $2.79. A couple of weeks ago, I got my feelings hurt when I paid $3 and think 20 cents. I stopped breathing for about 5 seconds. That was the day before something's in around the tariffs that Trump was implementing. I had gotten gas. And I guess everybody got scared and started raising their prices. So the gas prices had like jumped like drastically. And no, I did not fill my tank up that day. I got mad and only put half a tank because I'm like, I will not be paying no $3.20 to fill this vehicle up. So I only put what, I think I put like around $20 in. It was able to take me to half, and that was on that. I might have gave him 25, but it wasn't no full tank because I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night knowing I paid $3.20 to fill up my vehicle. So I did not. A couple of days later, I went and got some gas when it was back down under $3. So so this is only the beginning. So yeah, there's a lot to come. Yeah, we are in the beginning with just all that Trump has in mind or planned for our country. Very, very beginning stages. So we just have to remember that. What they say, and the best is yet to come. And the best is yet to come. So I'm gonna keep the faith that the best is yet to come. Because baby, mm-mm. We listen, everybody with all these nations and just not seeing eye to eye with one another, like we got to it's got to get better. Robin, you say I pay $5.49. Where you at, on the West Coast? Is that your gas price? Is that your gas price? Because when I was in San Diego in February, the gas was $5.99 a gallon. I was like, oh my. And it was a little car. It was $100 to fill up that car we were in, the rental. I was on a business trip. And we were in this small car, and it only just needed to be filled up, halfway, because we had half a tank. So you fill it up, and it was $100 to fill that car up. Yeah, for a half a tank of gas, $100. So yes, times are hard. Times are hard, and love didn't take care of that bill on that day. Nope, a credit card did. My boss's credit card, that company credit card, took care of that bill that day. Love didn't have nothing to do with it that day when we was at the gas station. And it's not going to have anything to do with it right now while I'm at the gas station about to pump this gas. Diabolic said, times are hard. Thank you, Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe said, listen, he said he did the best he could with what he had to work with. He said he did the best he could with what he had to work with. Yeah, that's a man I don't ever in life have to hear speak again. I hope they don't put him back on nobody's stage. But on that note, y'all, thank you for tapping in. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of my mental health products, I have links on my previous posted videos and community page to my mental health products. I have published books on Amazon, on Prime, range $5.99 to $7.99. Adult coloring books, journals, notebooks, all of that jazz. So just take care of yourselves and one another. Many of us are out here taking care of everybody and neglecting ourselves, and that's a whole problem. So figure out what that means when I say take care of yourself. What are those? What are some things that you enjoy doing that you feel like you need to do more of? Because, like, listen, life be lifing. It's hard out here for many people. Trying to find the glare. It's hard out here for many people, and I get it. I get it. But we just have to show love and have grace for one another. And people gonna vote for who they vote for and allow for people to move how they choose to, as long as whatever they're doing does not embark on what you got going on over here, wherever. Keep your hands, feet to yourself. Be respectful. Like attracts like. Give off good energy. Give off, that's what it's about. I'm a whole positive. I'm about positive vibes over here. If you haven't been able to tell, thank you for tapping in with me. So for those of you who may be new to my channel or new subscribers as of late, because my channel is growing really fast. Yeah, my name is Sheik. My background is clinical mental health counseling, and I choose to come out here on the internet uh, and put out content and talk my talk and incorporate topics of mental health into it. I choose to do that opposed to just practicing therapy, because based on my degree in clinical mental health counseling, I can be a therapist and just operate that way, do all the stuff therapists do. But that's not how I choose to serve people. I choose to do it in this way, or when I just cross the path of just random people in life and I just have conversations with them, because I love to talk, if you cannot tell, and I love to engage and meet new people, ask questions. Remember, ask them questions, y'all. Smart people ask questions over here. If you are a subscriber to this channel, you are an honor student. I affectionately refer to my subscribers as honor students because we are lifelong learners. We continue to grow, we continue to elevate. Smart people ask questions, never feel bad if someone tells you ask too many questions, because guess what? That's what smart people do, because that's how you learn. You don't learn by sitting and just doing nothing. You learn by showing interest and wanting to understand. That's, listen. And I'm pretty sure, I guarantee those people who get on you about asking a lot of questions, you know more than them. That's how it works. Because how the hell they gonna know something if they're not seeking out information? So don't even let it sweat you. Ask questions. That's what smart people do. And you tell them that. Smart people ask questions. And they're gonna look at you like you crazy. But that's on that. Y'all, I appreciate you. Like, share, and subscribe. L. Mitchell says, asking questions is step one. It is in common sense and practical application of the knowledge you gain that makes you educated. I like that. It's the first step. It's the first step. Thank you so much. And on that note, you all like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Dr. J, for moderating this channel, and Yvonne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.